Hey everyone, welcome to Let's Talk Nerd. In this video, we'll be reviewing the weapons that were included in the Halo Infinite technical preview beta flight test thing as part of the Halo Insider program that was released in July, which included multiplayer bots and the new Weapons Drill Academy that allowed you to test out each of the weapons that were included in the preview. So in this video, we'll be talking about those weapons and what I thought of them in the preview. There's a lot to talk about, so strap in and let's get into it. First up in the Academy of Weapon Drills is the MA40 Assault Rifle, coming from the same lineage as the Halo Reach MA37 Assault Rifle, given its similar look and style. Now, the MA40 is going to be your most used weapon in Halo Infinite multiplayer, as it is the default starting weapon in most game modes. It is sporting a 36-round magazine and is most effective at close range, but can be used at medium range using the scope targeting system and short controlled burst. Now, personally, out of the weapons that I was able to play with during the technical preview, the MA40 is probably one of my favorites that is reintroduced, mainly because it is such a huge improvement over previous games assault rifles, because the time to kill is much lower now. It's actually useful, and I don't want to drop it immediately when the multiplayer match starts. I can actually get some kills with it without being too underpowered like previous games assault rifles. Next up, we have the Pulse Carbine, a part of the Covenant Banished arsenal that is sporting a 3-round burst similar to the BR, but the difference being that these plasma rounds actually track your target if scoped in and the reticle is red. Now, this weapon's actually pretty fun to use, but I kind of see it not being as useful as the BR when it comes to actual 1v1 fights. The issue is that whenever you shoot, it's actually kind of slow to actually reach your target. It's not like the BR where it's like an instant hit whenever you fire. It kind of tracks the target, kind of similar to like a needler. So if your opponent's strafing or something, I missed quite a few shots, even though like my reticle was on the target. But if they're, moving left to right fast, like during that fight, your shots are going to kind of miss, and then your opponent's going to take you out because the BR is going to be like right on target whenever they're shooting at you. So that's kind of where I see this weapon not being useful. Now, if you're playing a bunch of noobs and you're doing well, this is a great weapon to use. It's fun to use. It overheats similar to like a plasma rifle, most other Covenant weapons. So you have unlimited bullets, but if you use it too much, it's going to overheat and you're going to have to chill it out. Next up, we have the fan favorite battle rifle, the BR75, sporting a 36-round magazine, 3-round burst, and capable of taking down an enemy Spartan in 4 controlled headshots. The BR is best used in short to medium encounters, but is also still capable of doing those long-range encounters if you have the precision to do so. Now, in Infinite, it looks like 343 has kind of returned to that original art style of the battle rifle, similar to Halo 2 and Halo 3, and stepping away from that Halo 4 and Halo 5 style where it had like a holographic and red dot sight or iron sights. We're back to the just regular scope, and I think it looks and sounds better. Next up, we have my most favorite addition to the weapon roster in Halo is the MK50 Commando, also known as the Commando. Sporting a 20-round magazine, and it's more effective in medium to long-range encounters. Kind of fails in those close-range encounters due to its high recoil. It is a fully automatic weapon, but it is more effective whenever you shoot in controlled bursts. Usually able to take out a Spartan in 5 to 6 shots. It is a precision weapon, so you can headshot an enemy with 1 shot as long as their shields are down. This gun kind of reminds me of like Scar meets Halo type weapon. I think this is kind of the replacement for the Saw from Halo 4 and Halo 5. It's really enjoyable to use. It sounds freaking awesome. It is very effective in multiplayer as long as you know how to use it. Due to the high recoil, like if you hold down that trigger, more than likely you're not going to hit your shot. But if you don't have a BR, this is like the next best thing in those medium to long range encounters. A new Unicy sidearm is being introduced in Halo Infinite to replace the Magnum, the MK50 Sidekick. Now, this little weapon sports a 12-round magazine and is capable of taking down an enemy Spartan with 8 successful headshots, and is actually pretty enjoyable to use. It closely resembles a modern-day Glock. So this weapon is actually super useful if you're going against an opponent that has a BR. You probably have the best chance compared to your assault rifle using this weapon. Like I said, it's an 8-shot headshot kill, but you can shoot it way faster than you can the BR, and you can probably hammer out those 8 shots in the time that it takes for the BR to shoot 4. One of the few weapons that has made it into every single Halo game, the plasma pistol has returned with some visual improvements as well as some significant sound improvements. It sounds super alien-like. It is very powerful. It's very useful. The tracking on it is actually maybe a little bit too OP. I feel like they will be doing some changes, maybe some debuffs for it in multiplayer pretty much across the map, and your reticle will be red, and you can ultimately track a Spartan from like across the map with that plasma pistol. Now, it may not always hit since it's so far away, but I thought it was kind of weird that it pretty much tracked no matter where you were, as long as you had visual line of sight with the plasma pistol. Now, you can still fire it single shot, and you can kind of like rapidly tap it. It will eventually overheat, and you'll have to push D to decompress it. It'll no longer just decompress by itself. And you can also do the overcharge shot, which is going to overheat it much faster. The plasma pistol can still be used in that noob combo scenario, and I found myself doing that quite a bit with the plasma pistol and sidearm combo, as well as using the BR and sometimes even the Commando with it. All right, next up we have the CQS48 Bulldog, the new shotgun on the human side for Halo Infinite. I am not a huge fan of this weapon. I just want to go ahead and put that out there. After playing with it quite a bit in multiplayer and really wanting to like it, you know, I'm a huge shotgun guy as far as like Halo 3 goes. I just feel like there's always been that shotgun. It's like a one-shot kill type thing when you're in close range. The CQS48 is not like that whatsoever. Has a 7-round drum and takes multiple shots, even in close range. Even if like you're right next to that Spartan, it takes at least 2 shots to kill that person. Which I'm not a huge fan of. I think the shotgun should be a one-shot kill type deal, especially like in like sword, hammer scenarios. Like there needs to be like a counterbalance there, because those weapons are one-shot kill. So the close range thing, like on the human side, needs to be like the equivalent. So I don't know if they need to buff this thing, or if there's actually another shotgun in the final game, and this is just kind of like an alternative similar to like the Mauler or something like that. I don't know. Not a huge fan of it. Now, you can shoot it super quick because it has that 7-round. It's kind of like a semi-auto shotgun deal. You know, it's not a pump like we're used to, but yeah, I'm just not a huge fan of this gun whatsoever. We have another new weapon to the Halo franchise, the Heatwave. It is a forerunner weapon utilizing hard light ammunition, similar to the light rifle scattershot. Falls into the grenade launcher type category. It is a semi-automatic weapon that shoots these like fiery hard light balls, and they kind of bounce off of walls and other objects on initial impact. And it is also unique in the fact that you can actually change the orientation that the projectiles come out. So when you are firing, you can change it from horizontal to vertical with the scope button. The horizontal, of course, being useful in scenarios where you have multiple enemies in front of you, kind of in, you know, like all grouped together, and you kind of hit them all at once. The vertical is more appropriate for a single enemy, maybe a larger enemy, or in multiplayer, you're in a one-on-one situation. Now, personally, I didn't find the scattershot too useful. It takes maybe like 3 shots on a Spartan in multiplayer if you land each one. It does have some effective range to it. You know, you can kind of shoot people from across the map, and you can kind of utilize the bouncingness of the projectiles to your advantage. You know, there's multiple enemies around you, and you just start firing wildly. You hopefully you'll eventually hit somebody if they're bouncing off the walls and things like that. It is a super unique weapon. I love that it's in the game, but it's really not that useful in my opinion. Another returning Covenant weapon is the Needler. Similar to the plasma pistol, this weapon has been in every single Halo game to date. Sporting a 26-round syringe magazine, you can inject your fellow Spartans with as much COVID-19 vaccines as you could possibly want. Now, in the technical preview, I was not able to get too many kills with this thing. The tracking on it seems a little off to me, on moving targets at least, but in those close range scenarios, if you can get up close enough, you can really do some damage with this thing. But at most, you're only going to get maybe 1 to 2 kills on a full magazine. Back on the human arsenal side, we have the S7 sniper rifle, which I learned in the preview has very little to no aim assist and was very disheartening to use, because I realized that I'm actually not very good with the sniper rifle because I rely too much on aim assist. So if that doesn't change, I will probably be moving to mouse and keyboard when Infinite drops. because I could hardly get any kills. I definitely could not no scope with the sniper rifle. I was seeing quite a few clips of people utilizing this thing very effectively, but I feel like most of them were on mouse and keyboard. Pretty much everybody that I've talked to and seen on forums and posts, things like that, have been complaining about this, and they were all pretty much console players and controller users. So I don't know what's going on with that. I don't know why all of a sudden there's no aim assist for this in this game. I don't know if they're going to change that or if it's just, you know, part of the preview. I don't know. But that's a little worrisome, just in my opinion, on the sniper rifle, because without any aim assist, you're pretty much making it to where mouse and keyboard players are going to have the dominant field here with a sniper rifle. Now, regardless of the aim assist, the aesthetics still look really good. It sounds even better. They somehow managed to improve the sound of that sniper rifle every single game, and this one is no exception. So overall, still a good weapon. I just hope that they make some changes. It doesn't have to be insane aim assist or anything like that. It doesn't have to just give you the kill, but it needs to be a little bit better in my opinion. Another new weapon coming to Infinite is the Skewer, which is the banished equivalent of a S7 sniper rifle. It is a one-shot, one-kill weapon, no matter where you shoot them. It shoots a very long spike out at your enemies, but it also takes almost 3 seconds to reload the thing. Now, this is probably one of the cooler weapons being added to Infinite that we've seen so far. I personally love using it. It is also very hard. There's not very much aim assist, just like the sniper rifle. But when you do land those shots, they are so satisfying because you see this long spike just go through the Spartan's body and like flip them. I'm really excited to use this in big team matches where we can use it against vehicles because they have already said that we can damage individual parts on the vehicle. So my idea is that I'm going to shoot this at the hood of a Warthog, going straight down, and hopefully that just like goes into the ground and it flips it. I doubt that's going to be a thing, but in my head, I see this being like one of the cooler weapons to use in vehicle play, and I'm really excited to see what else we can do with it when the game releases. Overall, it's a very cool weapon, has a very brute aesthetic, very long blade on the end of it, very primal looking. Unfortunately, it does seem like the blade is kind of pointless. It's just there for show. It's not like Halo 5 where you could attach the blades on the end of the BR and AR and stuff like that, and it actually has a stabbing motion. Since there's no assassinations at launch, more than likely it'll just stay aesthetic. As far as the preview went, whenever I meleeed with it, it was just kind of like a regular melee where you're just hitting them with the gun itself. There was no like stabbing motion or anything like that, but could be something in the future that we see. Another brand new banished weapon is the Ravager. Similar to the Skewer, it has a blade at the bottom, but this one actually shoots plasma instead of actual physical projectiles, which is pretty common for most brute weaponry other than the brute plasma rifle. Now, this weapon has two firing modes, a single shot that is kind of like an arced grenade throw that shoots 3 different projectiles with it, and then there is a charged up shot that actually, when shot at the ground, catches the ground on fire and causes damage to your enemies over time. Now, in the preview, I wasn't able to get this to work effectively. It seemed every time that I caught the ground on fire and bots would move over it, it didn't cause any damage. I didn't get any hit markers or anything like that. So I'm not sure if it's broken or if I'm just using it wrong, and that charged up method is actually more effective against vehicles. But overall, I think this is going to wind up being a big team weapon that is more effective against vehicles and things like that instead of individual Spartans. But it may actually have been broken in the preview where I just wasn't using it correctly. But it's definitely a cool addition to the weapon roster, and I'm excited to see what more we could do with it in the final game. Last but not least on our weapon roster in the Academy is the granddaddy of them all, the M41 Spanker rocket launcher, sporting its twin tube for being able to fire 2 rounds in quick succession before needing to reload. Now, I just want to say that I am very thankful that 343 returned us to the Spanker instead of the M57, you know, kind of lightweight rocket launcher that we got in Halo 5. This one just screams Halo to me. This is like the de facto rocket launcher in video games when I think rocket launcher. But other than that, there's really not much to say. It's a rocket launcher, it blows shit up, and it does a very good job at it. Now, while we went over everything in the Academy weapon roster, there was one other weapon in the customization menu of the Infinite Technical Flight, and that was the UNSC Hydra, which we used in Halo 5. It is a rocket launcher of sorts, but was not included in any of the game modes or the Academy itself, so we'll likely see that in the next technical preview. If you guys made it this far into the video, I humbly appreciate you checking it out. If you guys have any questions, please leave them down in the comments below, and I'll be happy to answer them. If you haven't already, please like this video if you enjoyed it, and subscribe to my channel for more content. I will be putting out more and more Halo Infinite content as we get closer to the release, and I plan on making that kind of the main stop for my channel when the game actually comes out. I'm super excited for Infinite. I think it's going to be a great game. I think it's going to pull in a lot of new Halo fans, and I can't wait to see what the future holds for Halo. So with that being said, hope you guys enjoyed this video, and we'll see you in the next one.